Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video, we successfully able to display that our reviews. Now in this video, I want to work for our slider. So into the slider part, that will be a little bit different because here we don't need to insert multiple slider. Only one specific data we have to get it and we have to update it. So how we can do this work, how we can make this slider as a dynamic. Now step by step, I will show you that things with the live example. For doing this, I want to create separate another slider controller, another model, that means database will be needed, and also we have to create the migration and from to this our backend. I want to manage that our slider data. So let's do that work. For doing this, I want to go to that our project, and in here, first of all, I want to create another new controller. Okay, so you can also use that same controller, but right now I want to make it as a separated. And for doing this in our backend, I want to create another new controller. So that will be as a PHP artisan, and then the make controller, and then in our backend, into the backend folder, I want to create another new controller that will be as a slider controller. Okay, now this type of one of the new controller I want to create. Now click as enter, and that is a new slider controller is successfully created. And also our another database table will be needed, and table related how many field there have field we have to also add it. So that is the reasons I want to create another new model that will be as a PHP artisan, and then the make model. I want to create another new model like as a slider, and also at the time I want to create another migrations table. Now click as enter. Now our model is successfully created and migrations table is successfully created. So first of all, I want to define that our there is a model is created, and I want to go to the database, and into this migration there is a new one is successfully created as a slider. Better I want to copy some of the data from to this our review. I copy it. Now in here I want to paste it. So how many data we have actually needed, I want to go to that our project. That will be depends on your project structure. Like for this theme, they have only one of the title, they have one of the description, they have one of the images in here, and also if you click it, that should be one of the link, right? So that means there is a 4 field that will be enough. So I want to go back here, and I want to make it one of the field name as a title. Another field, I want to name it as a description. And also I want to take another 2 of this field will be needed. One is for the image, right? As a image will be needed. Another will be as a link. I name it as a link. Okay, and link and image I make it as a string type. Description is little bit high. Our text will be needed, so that is the reason I make it this field as a text, and all that field I make it as a nullable. Nullable means if this field have no data, that will be not display any type of error. It should be inserted as a null value data. Great. And then that will be our all that field name. Our next step will be that is the all that field we have to make it as a fieldable. So if you want to do this work, we have to go to that our slider, and into the slider area I simply make it as a protected guarded will be as an empty array. That means all that our field now that should be as a fieldable. Okay, here I successfully update. Now I want to migrate it. Here if you want to migrate, that will be as a PHP artisan and migrate migrate. Now click as enter. Now there is a new database table is successfully created as a slider. If you now go to that our database, and now if you refresh it, there is a new database is successfully created as a slider, and that is a title, description, image, and link. Great. So now our next job will be here. I want to insert some of the demo data, like a specific one data related everything. I want to actually get it. I want to go to the insert, and in here I want to simply edit some of the description, images, and a link. Okay, I put some of the data, which is fine. And now if you click as a go, and now if you go to that our browse, and in here you can see there is a ID 1. So if there is a ID 2, you can also use it ID 2, rather than if right now is a ID 1, a specific one ID related. All the data I want to get it. And first of all I will get it, and I simply want to update it. So I want to manage it from to this our sidebar. That means from to this our admin dashboard. So for doing this in our sidebar area, I want to create another new menu. Let's do that work. For doing this, I want to go Right now the model will be not needed, and also our migration will be not needed. I want to go to that our admin here. If you go admin in our body, and I want to go to that body sidebar, and into the sidebar now here after that, like that is our all review, and here I want to use another name, and that will be as a slider. Okay, name it as a slider setup. And slider setup, only one will be enough. I want to make it as a gate slider. That will be a gate slider. Okay, so now that's all. So here I want to create another new route for the gate slider data. So I want to create another new route. I just named that as a route. A route name, I name it as a gate. Okay, gate, and then the slider. Great. Now this step up on the route we have to create. So if you want to create it, you have to go to the web.php, and in our first job is I have already separated another controller. First things we have to do, have to import this our controller that I have created in our backend, and that is the name as a slider, and that is a slider controller. I want to support it. Great. And now I want to also use that another group controller. Before I have used another group controller as a review controller, and that is also protected with our another group middleware, and that is started from here, that is ended from here, right? So now I want to better copy the same things. I copy it and I paste it. Right now only one I want to take it, and that will be our controller name. I have already used it as a slider controller. I copy it. Now that will be here as a slider controller. Great. So now into this slider controller here, I have created one of the new route as a gate slider. I copy it. Now in our web.php, I name it as a gate slider. That will be as a gate, and then the slider. Okay, here that because our slider part that should be also protected with our auth, because with this that will be check it user is locking or not, right? That is very important, because without locking I don't want to access that our slider. Okay. Great. And then I want to create another new method that will be as a gate slider. Now this type of one of the method I want to create in our slider controller. Now I want to go to that our slider controller, and in here first of all I want to create this method that will be as a public, and function our method name will be as a gate slider. Here I simply created, and better I want to also make it as a AND method. That will be as a AND method. Great. And then I want to access that our model. Better I want to get some of the references from our review controller, and from here I want to do image will be also needed. Better I want to copy it. Okay, copy that our image interface and image manager, and that the drive I copy it. And now I want to go to that our slider, and in here I paste it. So now we have to access our which table. We have to access that our slider table, and slider table, if you want to access it, we have to access it throughout this our model name as a slider. Now better I want to support that our slider. And then here I want to take one of the variable. I just name it like as a slider, and this slider will be with our slider. From to this slider I want to find our which ID. I want to find that our one ID related data. That means if you go, that is when I inserted one of the demo data. So that is actually ID as a 1. Right. So if you have that 2 ID, simply get that our 2 ID related data. But right now I get that our slider ID, or I find 1 ID related data, and then that is the data I want to do and to visible it in one of the view page. So that will be return one of the view, and this view in our admin into this our backend. And before I have created as a review folder, now I want to create another new folder as a slider. And then I want to create another new file, like that will be as a gate _ slider. And also that is our specific ID related data. I have already get it. Now with the compact, I want to pass this slider data into this our page. Okay, into this our that is the gate slider page area. I want to pass it. Great. So now we have to create it in our admin backend. I want to go to that our view. And into this view, that is our backend folder. Here I want to create on the new folder as a slider, and into this slider area I want to create it as a get slider. I simply create on the new file. I just name it as a get slider.blade.php. Okay, great. So this get slider will be exactly the same things that I have already done it in our review. If you go to our edit review, from here I want to actually copy everything. Same things now we have to actually do. Now I copy it, and now in our get review, and here I want to paste it. So everything I have already created the form design. Now I want to update it, like that will be as a edit our slider. Edit or update, whatever you choose, and that will be the same as edit slider. And then our field name we have to update, because here I have already get that our specific ID related data with by the variable name as a slider. I copy it. Now we have to also visible that our value, like as a input hidden field requested value. If you want to access it, we can access it throughout the slider ID, and that will be that our field name as a title, description, image, and link. Right, I want to update it as per our database field name as a title, and then with our slider I want to display that our name as a title, because I have already inserted some of the data. Now that should be actually get this data, and that will be another one. Here I want to use it as a link. That will be as a link, and our database field name also as a link, and here throughout that our slider I want to display that our field as a link field. Great, and then that will be as a link and the description and image, right? So I want to use it as a description and database field name. Better I want to go to the structure. I better copy it. Our field name as a description, I copy it. Now that will be here as a field name as a description. I want to show that our description throughout that our slider. Right, because here I have actually passed it our specific one ID related slider data throughout the compact method by the name as a slider. I pass it in our get slider page. Now here we have to, with this we have to display that our database field name as a description, and then that will be user photo. I want to change it to the our slider. Okay, slider photo. Type will be file type, and name as per our database field name also here as image. Now that will be totally fine. And then our existing image, if you want to visible it, now we have to visible it throughout that our slider. We can actually visible that our image, because our field name also has an image, and then they have already one of the ID, and then that is actually our JavaScript is already in here. Now that should be work. Okay, now let's check this out. If you now click as a save all, and now I want to run it as a PHP artisan optimize. Okay, now click as enter, optimize, running successful, because I have already updated some of the things in our web.php. Now if you go, I want to refresh it. Now that should be another menu as a slider setup and get slider. Perfect. You can see in here I have already inserted some of the demo data, right? So that is actually our data is now successfully get that our value as a name, link, description. If you select some of the images from here, that should be also displayed. Perfect. So now friend, our next job will be here from to this position. We need to update it. Okay, so here that will be actually just like the same things that I have already done it into our review update functionality. That will be the same things. So how can do this work? Better want to continue this process in our next video. I will show that things with a live example. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video, we successfully get a specific our one ID related total data. Here we successfully get it, and now that is successfully visible it. So now friend, here I want to update this information. So let's do that work. For doing this, we have to go back to again in here in our ED, that is a get slider. I have already updated all that our field data, and that is also one of the form, and that is a form we started from here. Right, everything will be just like that same that I have already done it in our review, because review into the edit, that is the same logic. And here I have also get that our ID, and this ID means which one? This ID means here that is actually our one ID related data. Right, if you also want to check it, I show you that will be as a text. And now if you click as a save all, and now if you refresh it, now you can see that is our one ID data. Okay, so now we have to I make it as a hidden, and now we have to create another new route for update this data, and also that have one of the images. So that is the reasons our NC type multi-part form data that will be needed, and method should be as a post method. Now I want to create on the new route as a update slider. Okay, just name it as a update slider, and into this update slider here, one things I have done wrong, that is not the name here, that will be actually our title. Better I want to use it as a title. Okay, and also our field name as a title, link, which I have already updated as per our database field name, as a description, and that is the image name as image. Great. Now we have to create it. We have to create that our update slider. I go to that our web.php, and in here I want to create another new one. I copy it and I paste it. Now that will be the name as update slider. I want to update it as a update slider. That will be as a update slider. Okay, and then that will be one of the post method. And then I also want to create another new method that will be as a update and slider. Now this type of one of the update slider I want to create in our side, there is a slider controller. So that will be exactly the same things that I have done it in our review controller. Into the review controller here, if you go to the update, like here you can see that is actually our update review, right? Same things, total our method as a update review method. I want to copy it, and else that is our ANDed, and you can see that is your AND method. Total method I copy it. Okay, there is a two part, with image and without image. I hope you already remember. Now I copy it. Now into this our slider, into the slider controller area here. After that I paste it. Now I want to do, first of all, I want to change that our method name. Our method name that should be as a update slider, and that will be on the post method. I want to go to that our slider controller, and here I want to update it as a update slider. That is our request, and that is our get request. Great. So first of all, I want to get that our ID. So I just name one of the variable name as a slider ID, and that will be our requested ID. Requested ID means which one? Here I have already passed one of the hidden field ID name as a ID, and that is actually our requested ID. Okay, and then our image functionality. So here that will be our requested file as image, because here into this our get image slider, here also our field name is the same field. I have used it as an image. That means that is the fine as an image. It should be get it your image manager, which I have also loaded before in our slider controller as an image manager, and then the driver. Here I simply take both of these. Only our model name that should be changed here. After that will be the same, it should be generated, everything will be same. And now after that, in our public, in our upload, into this now I want to create the new folder as a slider, because slider related image that should be save it into our slider folder, and that will be upload into this our slider folder. But here our resize will be different. Like here, if you go to our template, into the template that should be as a 306 and also 618. So I want to also set it in here. That will be our wide will be as a 306, and height will be as a 618. Okay, that will be a 618. Now that is the resize is very important, as I told you. So here we can actually use this type of one of the image, which image size that should be as a 306 and also 618. So here I successfully updated that our resize functionality throughout that image intervention. We can able to do this work, and now that will be uploaded in our upload slider folder. That will be save it, and now our model name, where exactly I want to update. I want to update it in our slider table. That will be find our ID, that is our requested ID. I have already received it by the name as a slider ID. That will be updated that our name, so that will be not that name, our database field name. Here if you go, our database field name as a title, I copy it. Now that will be as a title will be our requested field name. I name it as a title, right? That is actually our input field name. So now I name it as a title. Another field as a description, I copy it. Now that will be the description will be our requested field name. I had named it as a description, so I copy it. Now that will be as a description. Our database field name, another one as a link, I copy it. Now that will be as a link. And our requested field name also here I name it as a link. Now that will be as a link, and then the image will be our save image. That will be totally fine. Great. And that will be written one of the message as a that will be the slider update with image successfully, success alert, return direct to the route will be not needed into the same page, right? Into the same page area that will be actually loaded. So I want to make it that will be on the back page. Here we don't need to pass any route in here. That will be our notification will be notification. Okay, perfect. And else that will be updated the same things here, only that will be without our image, right? So now I want to copy it. I copy the total things from here, and now after that in our else here I want to change it. I just simply paste it. Everything will be updated only without image. Okay, so here I want to remove it. That will be as without. Okay, without image successfully. This type of the message redirect to the back page. Okay, now that's all you have to do. Before I have already discussed about each and everything with you. Now if that have any image, that should be displayed the update the image, or rather than that will be updated our without image. And also here one things you can do, like when you upload another new image, then our existing old image that will be replace it. So here if you want to do this work, in that case I want to take another variable as a slider, and slider will be from our slider model. That means that is our slider model, and with this slider model I want to find that our ID related, that is a requested ID, which I have already take it as a slider ID, and that is the slider ID related that I want to take it. And now throughout this our slider I want to use another condition. Okay, here after that I want to use another condition as if condition, and into this condition area if this file is exist. Okay, if this file is exist from to this our public from to the public path. Okay, so I name it as a public path. From to the public path I want to first of all get the access that our field name. So now throughout this our slider I want to access that our field name as an image. Here I want to access it, then simply I want to unlink it. Okay, so that will be at the rate as an unlink function. That is a unlink, and throughout this unlink that will be unlink from to this our public, and then our path. From to the public path I want to simply unlink with our slider, that will be unlink that image. Okay, here I want to update the image. Perfect. So friend, that's all here we have to do. Now throughout this our existing image which is their have, that will be removed with our new image. Okay, great. Now let's check this out. I click as a save all, and now I want to also run that PHP Artisan optimize, running successful. And now if you go to that our project, I want to refresh it. Like right now that is our title, and this title I want to update it as a 1223344. Okay, without image I want to update. Now click as a save changes. That is slider updated without image successfully. And if you now go to that our database, now that should be also updated. Great. And now I want to check that our with image, like I want to only change that our title, and at a time I want to change that our slider. Here if you go to your exercise file, here I have already shared this theme related some of the demo data into this your exercise file area. That is a demo fold images, you actually get it. Like for education purpose I want to check this one. Okay, I want to check this one. I click as a select it. Now click as a save changes. Let's check this out, it's updated or not. Here, yeah, you can see that is getting one of the issues, is getting can't write the image path directory does not exist. I understand, maybe I didn't create any folder name. Here if you go to our project, into the project that is a public folder, in our upload, you can see I didn't create this folder name. That should be redirected to our slider folder, right? So in our upload we have to also create that our slider. I want to create another new folder as a slider. Okay, great. And now I want to go back again. I want to refresh it. I want to check that our database, they have the nothing is inserted, and now I want to change that by the name as a title. And also I want to change that photo. I want to select this one. Now click as a save changes. You can see that is a slider updated with image successfully, and that is also successfully display it because of all into this our get slider, I have also displayed that our existing image that should be displayed, and now that is successfully displayed. And if you now go to that our database, now that should be also updated in our appropriate this file location. If you go to that our folder, that is also successfully updated. Now I want to check that our that is replaced with our new image or not, and also most important, that is the image dimension. And if you put your cursor, if you check that our dimension for this image, and you can see there is our dimension for this image is 306 and 618 as per our requirement, because in our Frontend that is actually the size here we have to implement it. Right, here we successfully done this job, and now I want to also check that our replace is working, that means unlink is working or not. Here I want to go back, I want to check another image, like now I want to use this one, and now here I want to click on the save changes. That is successfully updated, that is also successfully visible. If you go, yes, you can see it successfully replaced our old image. There is a new image with the appropriate same dimension is successfully uploaded. So how you can do this work, a specific OneID related data, simply I get it and I update it. And now that is the data I want to do. I want to visible it in our Frontend. That means here, okay, better I want to actually use this type of another name, then that will actually display perfectly the title. And also here I want to use some of the link, okay, that means description, and also the link will be like as a, I want to use it as our total port, okay, port/contact, this type of one of the link I want to done to use it. Later I will create this type of one of the route. Now click on the save changes, everything updated successfully. So next video I want to do, that is the data I have successfully also inserted in our database, which is fine, and now that is the data I want to visible it into this our Frontend. So how you can do this work in our next video, I will show you that things with the live example. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.